Please be advised there are spoilers ahead related to the property being watched and or discussed. Hello! Welcome back! Thank you very much for tuning into this video. If you're new here, I appreciate you pressing play and I hope you don't regret it. This is Ashamoji TV. My name is Asha. This is where I like to watch, react, and share my 2 cents, just my 2 cents, about 2 properties related to sci-fi and fantasy. So in today's video, I'm going to press play on episode 14 from the 2nd season of Fringe. Now, it's the official 14 as of IMDb, because I know it's a bit of a mix-up for those of you that may be going along with your DVD. I'm not. I'm going along with IMDb, whereas episode 11, titled Unearthed, past tense, is listed there as the 11th episode, where it's not listed that way in the DVD collection. One of my members got all mixed up with that, so I just figure, you know what, let me just kind of clear the air one more time and just make that quite clear, okay? So for me, episode 14 is The Bishop Revival. Oh, I smell religion! Christianity in particular. So yeah, okay. Whatever this episode brings to me, I hope it's about the bishops. Maybe we're going to get some actual backstory about Peter and Walter and their lineage. You know, I think there's something to their lineage, because considering the episode from season 1, The Arrival, right? And so maybe I'm just hoping that, you know, we'll get some flashbacks to the bishop history. I don't know. It'll be just kind of cool. I'm playing on whatever ideas comes to mind related to the title of the episode. So enough of me babbling. Here's my condensed reaction for you. Oh, a wedding? Oh no, a wedding that's gonna go really bad. It's the beginning.
Color and sound check, Milton Stoller wedding.
Oh, there's a lot of possibilities here. A Jewish wedding.
You take this. This, my regular speed. Everyone decent in here?
Come on in, Mrs. Stoller.
Look who I brought, Shelley. This is how David can see you in your dress before the wedding without the bad luck.
Superstition.
I'm crying now. Let's not film this part. No, turn it off. Turn it off.
Whatever bad thing is going to happen is going to be to the bride, to the groom, to everybody.
Happens to everyone.
It's kind of terrible. I'm excited for something horrible.
Lynn, who's that man?
I don't know, must be from Shelley's side.
She recognize him?
2 minutes? Sorry. Just a couple minutes. He's okay. He's good.
How to relieve a panic attack for a groom. Make sure that he signs a prenup. Or he had a prenup signed, excuse me. On both ends.
Can't be. It can't be true.
What's wrong, Nana?
It can't be. It's him.
Oh, Nana, what are you talking about?
It's him.
What's wrong?
Oh.
What is it? Oh my God.
What is he doing to her? Oh, everybody's going down! Look at him! Okay. This is going to be an exciting one. I love that I can actually say that for all the episodes. Even if it doesn't turn out to be exactly, but it's a nice feeling to have when you are expecting the best.
Do we have a final count on the victims?
14 so far.
It's a lot.
I like weddings. I never tell you about when your mother and I, God rest your soul.
Learning to drive again?
I think I missed that one. I was trying to stop driving.
I bet they're not even gonna pick that up.
So beautiful and white. I won't deny I was never happier. I kept my tuxedo in the hope that one day I would have a son who would wear it.
Aww.
You would wear it on your wedding day.
Yeah. You know, Walter, tuxedo styles change.
Oh, nonsense. Purple never goes out of style.
Well, what kind of purple?
I think she'll call me Dad. Who? H.E. Dunham.
My guess would be no.
Don't look at me like that. She's just what you need.
Yes!
Someone who can see right through you. H.E. Dunham, don't you look lovely today? Doesn't she look lovely, Peter?
I'm taking that as a big hint. I don't care what any of you guys are saying right now to me. I'm not saying much, but still. A couple of you are trying to thwart me.
The taking of hemorrhaging?
Yeah, not to mention the blue skin. It's definitely asphyxiation.
Here, wait, here.
Choking at a glance.
Same here.
No fluid in the lungs.
So all the victims they've identified so far are on the groom side. I mean, maybe they came in contact with something before the wedding.
Anaphylactic shock. Maybe they're all having an allergic reaction to something they ate or drank.
That would be logical if they were all exposed at the same time, I suppose.
More like someone they've seen. Ooh.
She was a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm thinking time travel here.
All I know for certain is that these 14 people suffocated in a room full of air.
Yeah, that sounds
Maybe
bad.
something they all ate or drank. There. Maybe that?
It's hard to believe that a few hours ago this was actually a happy place.
Oh my god! That was a good scare. Yo, did his inhaler save his life? Well, not anymore. But at that time. Beforehand.
Cuties, all 15 victims. So they're all blood relatives then?
Yes. All of the victims are direct descendants of Eva Stoller.
Holocaust survivor.
And anyone not related to her survived. Along with one grandchild who I think might be illegitimate.
Therefore, blood relative. I suspect he would have perished too.
Fringe's version of a bloodline curse.
Ostrich. Could you come here?
Ugh.
What color is this?
Ostrich? You just call her ostrich.
Something has bonded with the hemoglobin in the blood, changing its color and robbing the body of oxygen. I believe these people literally suffocated from the inside out.
Cyanosis times 1,000.
Walter, no, that might be what killed him.
No, that kept him alive longer than the others. I suspect it temporarily weakened the toxin. It still leaves the how. How was the toxin delivered?
She was looking at him.
Did you notice anyone who shouldn't have been at the wedding? Someone who wasn't invited?
No, of course, I don't know the bride's entire family. Although my mother-in-law, she was very upset with someone.
Scented
before.
candles.
A man, I had never seen him before. I thought she was just having a moment.
If we showed you the wedding video, do you think that you would be able to point him out?
I could try. It's Jasmine.
I'll never look at Jasmine the same. No, I'm just kidding.
She just had all the rest of the
A little.
Let's place it, Jasper, right? Smell that. This one's cinnamon.
You're right. This is our toxin. It used to be a very... What is that? Hydrogen cyanide. The candle would suggest that it was activated by heat and then dispersed into the air.
Well, if it was in the air, how come it only killed some of the guests?
Good question.
What?
Death by asphyxiation. The Nazis. I knew this was familiar.
The Nazis?
The Nazis were scientific pioneers. They attempted to advance every branch of science, molecular bombs, flying saucers, eternal youth. Before DNA was even discovered, Joseph Mengele wanted to create a weapon capable of targeting specific victims, a weapon capable of picking people out in a crowd, just like what happened here. A wedding is a perfect laboratory. You have your target group, the scholars, and you have your control group, everyone else.
So you think this was a science experiment?
Okay.
It's a theory. And one that I think I can prove.
How?
A scientist always tries to recreate his results. If I'm right, this will happen again.
But she recognized him, so I feel there's still somewhat of a personal tie.
I'd like a cup of tea, please. And make sure the water's very hot.
Sure thing, what kind of tea?
I don't know. You pick, whichever's your favorite. And please, make sure the water is very hot.
So do you like her?
Here's his new experiment spot.
Well, we're already there. We're talking about skipping her up a grade.
You know, don't be in too much of a hurry. These days are precious. Soon, all you will have are pictures.
That smells good. Is that cinnamon?
Yeah, something like that.
Little girl. Gosh.
9 victims. Suffocated just like the wedding in Brookline.
Except unlike the Stallers, none of these people were related to each other.
I have to rework that hypothesis, Walter.
She's alive!
Toxin
Good.
isn't transmitted genetically.
Just a theory, Peter.
Is her mom gone, though?
No candles, I suppose.
Not a single one.
Hey, Walter. Is there any other way that this toxin could be delivered?
Any number of ways, I would think. It simply requires a heat source to disperse into the air.
What about a cup of tea?
Oh, yes, thank you. Oh, yes, that would work.
Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe instead of time travel, maybe he could be, what do you call there? I was gonna say immortal, but maybe he's developed a non-aging situation.
Brown.
That's right, after all. It is a targeted toxin. They all have brown eyes. That's the common genetic trait. Check the survivors, but I'm sure I'm right. It's a good thing you weren't here at the time, Agent Brooks, and you'd be dead too.
He's just killing these people to prove that he can?
Perhaps. I'm going to drive us back to the lab. I think I have an idea.
Walter. Why don't I drive?
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Excuse me, officer. Dr. Bishop.
Did you need something?
No, I'm just trying to place him. He looks just like his father.
Okay. I guess the non-aging theory could be plausible.
That's a targeted group. In the first instance, the Stoller family, Agent Frontal. And in this instance, people with brown eyes.
Because he can program the toxin to target whatever group he wants.
Any group with common physical characteristics or genetic similarities, yes. Tall people, short people, fat people, skinny people, black people, brown people, or white people.
Hey, Walter. We get it.
Yeah. That's where I think his intent is malicious, because he's selective.
The toxin itself is quite rudimentary. It's a blend of chromium trioxide and hydrogen cyanide.
Chromium trioxide? That's highly regulated if this guy was buying it in any quantity.
Master, can
Dig up any companies that deal with chromium trioxide.
So, Walter, what were you saying about him being proud of his work?
Oh. See this? That's a carbon J. It's inert. It's the signature of the creator. Some chemists spell out their initials and molecules. Others create a symbol.
Are you saying that we may be able to identify whoever made this?
That's pretty interesting.
A stylized S or a snake.
Actually,
Looks like a seahorse.
looks more like a seahorse.
Yeah, that's the first thing I was thinking of, since they keep showing the glyph.
What is it?
Das Seepferdchen. The seahorse. I know who created this toxin.
His father. Hence the title. Yes!
Dr. Robert Bishop.
Wait. Your father?
I told you these were Nazi experiments. My father was a scientific pioneer at the University of Berlin.
Oh my gosh, are we gonna have the Grandpa Bishop flashbacks?
Walter, what are you telling me? That my grandfather was a Nazi?
Technically, yes. Actually, he worked as a spy for the Allies, sabotaging German research and smuggling scientific information to the Americans.
Oh, okay.
I know I recognize the experiment.
I love how it always ties back with Walter. This is great.
Walter, are you saying that you think your father helped develop the formula for this toxin?
Seems so. Of course, at the time, it was just theoretical. DNA itself was theoretical. That formula has to be here somewhere. These are all my father's favorite books. First editions of Goethe, Thomas Mann.
What's wrong, Peter?
You're not going to find those books in there.
Oh, no, they will be here. This is all the books in my library.
No, they won't. Walter, they're not in there. I sold those books. All of them, about 10 years ago.
Why?
You sold them? Why?
I needed money.
They were my books. You left them to me. You knew how dangerous they were.
The odds that this case has anything to do with your father.
The very thing that he was trying to stop, you put back into the world.
We don't know that for sure.
Yes, we do. Of course we do. How else would whoever is doing this have gotten hold of the formula?
Oh, man. Talk about a ping pong of guilt.
My father's work is killing people.
If it's not Walter's work, it's his father's now. Jesus. It's great writing. I like it. It's very internal, you know? Keep it in the family. Ah, that's great.
So, the formula is very complex. We believe that the killer must have found it in one of the books. If we can trace the books, then hopefully we can find him.
Then do it. Quickly.
Okay.
Find those books.
One by one.
Come on, Bishop. You sold me those books like 10 years ago.
Hello again.
How is it that a beautiful lady like you is stuck with this guy?
It's my job.
Well, I have some books on how to rethink your career. Close your parachute. Do what you are.
That's thoughtful of you. I really need you to find out who it was who bought those books.
Whoever did may be in the midst of a killing spree.
Sounds serious. Give me a minute, I'll see what I can find.
What?
You didn't really sell Walter's books for money, did you? Walter's got heaps of valuable stuff. Why'd you just sell his books?
It was a long time ago. Walter was still in St. Clair's. I wasn't exactly very fond of him at the time. Those books were amongst his favorite possessions.
Out of spite.
I'm not proud of it.
They were sold last year. The name I got is Eric Franco. Lives over in Kendall Square. He struck me as a real weirdo.
Coming from you, that's saying something.
I like that. These reoccurring characters to recognize.
Doesn't look like he's here.
Well, why don't we just poke around for a bit?
Why not? Because, you know, there could be a trap. Or that. Or those. Or everything related to that time period.
Freeze! FBI, get down on your knees!
Don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. I'm not a Nazi. I'm an artist.
Where are the books you bought from Markham? The German novels.
The ones with all the creepy stuff inside. The Alice in Wonderland meets the evil Nazi experiment. Well, you're looking at one of them.
Well, at least it's something.
So none of these have ever been displayed. You're the only person who's ever seen them.
Sadly, the contemporary art scene has yet to fully recognize my particular contributions.
I wonder why.
Books back. Oh, what's left of them? I'll pay you whatever you had to pay for them.
Yeah, sure. It's gonna take me a while to dig them all up, but you should also know the collage is for sale. Or I could donate it.
To who? War Museum, I guess?
I'm sorry, Walter. Apology not accepted. First, this means the perpetrator didn't get the formula from the books.
No, we don't see how he could have.
And how on earth did he recreate the formula using my father's signature, no less?
No match on the killer's DNA, Walter.
Great. More bad news. Telomere degradation suggested that the man was over 100 years old, which is fascinating but not a likely possibility.
Hey, Walter, you said this toxin could be programmed to target any genetic trait, right?
Yes.
Well, could it be programmed to target more than one? Say, green eyes and brown hair at the same time?
Yes, I suppose it could.
What are you thinking?
That's an invoke. The master race. The Nazis' ultimate goal, the purification of the German people and the white race.
So Nazi science for a Nazi agenda.
All of Hitler's dreams in one little toxin.
Mm-hmm. That's what I meant with malicious intent, right? I mean, it was a Jewish family he started out with. And people with brown eyes.
Hey! What are you doing there?
I'm conducting a test to monitor the dispersion rates of my experiment.
The dispersion rate? Is that what he said?
You can watch.
Wow, this is the crudest episode yet.
Here are 3 local buyers. Do you recognize any of them?
Those two pharmaceutical companies. This one I've never heard of.
Shipping address is 3340 Eastern Road. Nude Mass, that's a residential address.
Sir, it's Dunham. I think we have a location.
Well, that guy looks fairly intelligent. Unless he's overlooked that they would try to trace the compounds. But, you know, the story needs to happen, so they gotta catch up to him by 30 minutes into the episode, at least. So that's how you make a fake ID. So much to learn in this show. a nice house.
Are we clear, Agent Doble?
Very safe. Good. All clear.
Let me guess, he has some kind of secret door to leave. Huh. Wow. Good instincts.
Makes your lab look downright homey.
Schwarze Haut. Braunes Haar. Ohne Augen.
Genetic traits. Eye color, hair color, skin tone, it's the works.
Looks like he was making some kind of ID.
Walter, this is your sweater. Walter?
The thingy on the stove.
Walter!
Yeah. Another close call for Walter.
Walter, why did he go after you?
I don't know. Perhaps he knew my father betrayed the Nazis.
Were you able to get that photo?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, he's sending it out wide. I also found this.
I know that logo.
All right. Go ahead.
World Tolerance Initiative. Okay. I'm excited to see how they're going to catch him. What are they going to do with him?
Do you know who he's planning to target?
No, that broad a spectrum of genetic markers. The target group could be anybody.
We need to evacuate the building.
I'll call head of security. But there are any number of foreign dignitaries at that conference, so we need to follow protocol. That'll take time.
We may not have it.
Something with scent.
But we must continue to confront discrimination and uphold the rights of the oppressed. The theme of this year's conference, individual accomplishments, was not chosen lightly. This organization has
That's a good strategy. Under the food!
I want you to take me to the Performing Arts Center. We can stop this.
Okay, we're looking for the man or the mechanism.
It's gonna be something hot. A candle, a coffee urn.
Peter, there's a candle on every table.
I know. They've been burning for so long. There's no victims. He must be using something more potent.
Anybody hungry? Go check around the buffet.
No, Estrid. We need to take the higher ground.
Gas route for the northwest corner. I got nothing.
Nothing here either. Keep circulating.
become its own form of oppression. One that justifiably takes sides.
Livia, I'm in the bar. Could be anything back here. Candles, coffee pots. It's a disaster. Hold on a second.
Food. Food. Yes.
Just hold off on those for 1 second. I think I got it.
Where's the victim?
Started early. Walter got to him? Oh, how? Dispersed it from above. You did have the high ground indeed.
What you did tonight
was to use the killer's DNA to target him and only him using his own toxin.
Good job.
You plan to press charges, then so be it. But I don't regret what I did.
Good night, Dr. Bishop.
A man of so many words.
That man, he corrupted my father's work.
I understand.
No, it was more than that. You see, family is very important to me. There's nothing I wouldn't do.
I like this generational bond of father and son. It's cool. You don't see that too much these days.
What's this?
It's a present. Your father's work. I had Franco give me everything that wasn't totally destroyed.
Aw, Peter. At least he tried.
Oh, look, Peter. It's your grandfather.
Which one?
Robert Bischoff.
That was his name. Changed it when he came over here. Your mother always said that you shared his noble brow. It's a pity you never got to know him. You two would have gotten along very well, I think.
You know, there is still one thing that doesn't make any sense. If the formula for the toxin didn't come from your father's notes, how did this guy get it?
Perhaps there are some mysteries that are destined to remain unsolved.
Of course there is. You know, because the show is mysterious. It's interesting how he's the second person to tell Peter it's too bad he didn't know his grandfather. Very straightforward episode, I think, anyway. I'm sure there are probably clues upon clues as usual that goes right past me. But I'm okay with that now. I've somewhat made peace with the fact that I'm gonna get what I'm gonna get, and I'm not gonna get what I'm not gonna get. And if it's till the last episode of the entire series, so be it. I'm at peace with that. Right now, anyway, in this moment. Okay, I'm gonna go pick my scene, and I'll be right back. It didn't take me too long to pick out a scene, and the scene I've chosen is where it's revealed from Walter that what's going on in this episode is related to the work of his father, Granddaddy Bishop. I really like that reveal because although I was kind of having fun with the whole concept of keeping it in the family, I like that it is within the family. And I think I'm just going to, put this out there until I see for myself whether there's any validity for that in the upcoming episodes or seasons, I think it may actually be somewhat of a clue in to me as a viewer that there is going to be significance with the Bishop family line. Because I just find it interesting that at the end of the episode, we have Walter telling Peter that it's too bad he didn't get to know his grandfather. And then in episode 4 from the first season, we had that dude with the cap, right? The one who abducted Peter. And he's all like, it's too bad you didn't know your grandfather. And I was like, there's no coincidences in this show, are there? Well, apparently I've been told there isn't. Everything is quite meaningful in terms of like not just dialogue, things you see, you know, things that you don't really see off the cuff right there. So I'm hoping to either get some flashbacks of Granddad Bishop, perhaps also to give more of an idea of the kind of relationship he had with Walter, a young Walter, you know. And since the concept of time travel seems to be quite obvious and now it's official, yeah, I think it's been official for a while, but it's only now I'm really like, okay, yeah, time travel is a thing. I hope. It'll be an exciting episode if there's a crossover of timelines and we actually get a live action depiction of Granddad Bishop into the mix. Not just a flashback, like he goes from the past to the future, and it's like this Bishop reunion, right? So instead of the Bishop revival, we have the Bishop reunion episode. That'd be awesome. Anyway, it was a very enjoyable episode for the mystery, but with the intent of the baddie and anything to do with World War II and that particular figure with a stash and all that. Yeah, anything to do with that stuff is kind of a bummer when it's not very inventive, in my opinion. I've seen some stuff that is more on the, what do you call there? Like with dark humor attached to it, with alternate realities related to what could have been if certain things happened, you know, like things like Inglourious Basterds, stuff like that, right? Where it's really in your face, a lot of fun to watch certain characters experience a different thing from history. Whereas in this case, it's kind of just reinforcing that mission or that agenda that Mr. H had and his whole group. And then what would it be like if in this modern time, in the episode, somebody was trying to continue that work under those circumstances? So for that in and of itself, I think it's quite bold to try to tell that story on one hand. But it, for me, diminishes the rewatchability factor. Like, I just wouldn't care to watch that kind of story again. So, with that in mind, I'm going to give it a solid 3 Ashamojis because it's still a good episode. You know, besides the content, how it was executed. I love how Walter figured things out at the end and he took action. Right? He took the high ground and did what he had to do. I very much, of course, enjoyed Walter's reaction to Peter. It wasn't like, okay, don't worry about it. He really was upset and really hurt by Peter's actions and Peter trying to make up for it. So, for those of you that think it should be a higher score, well, too bad. I'm giving it a 3. I feel more confident at a 3. Giving it a higher rating at this point in time, I don't resonate to that. So, there you have it. That's my reaction to episode 14 from the 2nd season of Fringe. I hope you've enjoyed this reaction video. I look forward to your non-spoiler comments, and I want to thank you, actually. Let me just put it out there right now. I want to thank you for actually keeping your comments spoiler-free. My moderator has been telling me that there's been very little he's had to delete as of late. And so that's very reassuring, very comforting, and it's also indicative of your respect of my reaction and my experience and my journey watching this show and having an authentic experience because I'm not spoiled by anything. So thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. And if you want access to my full reaction to this episode, details about joining my club is in the description box below, as well as details on how you can support this channel if you're not really interested in being a club member, but you do want to help me stay active and focused and consistent, more or less, on YouTube. I'd really appreciate your support on that end. So until my reaction to episode 15, I'm tuning out. Bye-bye. Peace out. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos.